Hey guys, it's Elena. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be walking you through how I made this beautiful dress that is a button up on the top and has a nice tiering on the bottom, so it's very flowy. This is the fabric that I bought when I was in Paris, which is so exciting, and I am in love with how this dress turned out, so let me walk you through all the steps. So this is the fabric I got. I decided to use the blue one and kind of wanted to do a mashup of two patterns. So I'm using the top from this McCall's pattern. I really liked the button up part, and then I'm using the skirt and the tiered sections for the bottom part of the dress. So I cut out the skirt panels. It's super easy to cut out. They're literally just rectangles, and the shirt from the other pattern. And then here are all my pieces. So I have a bottom skirt ruffle, top skirt ruffle, a front and back of the bodice, as well as the facing pieces, those two little strip parts. So first things first, I'm going to start on my skirt. So I'm taking one of the ruffle strips and sewing that together because I have like a front piece and a back piece. So I'm sewing that into one super long strip. And then I am doing the same thing with the other skirt ruffle piece, and then I am pinning those together to create our entire skirt. So I have a top piece and a bottom piece, and then the bottom ruffle of the skirt is obviously going to be wider than the top ruffle, and so I'm basically just pinning this on in a gathered fashion because the skirt is going to be gathered. So instead of doing a gathering stitch, I just decided to basically pin in halves, and then as I go through, I'm just going to kind of like scrunch that fabric. You can't see it super well because my hand is kind of blocking, but I am basically just scrunching the fabric as I go along and sew, and making sure that the fabric is evenly distributed along the entire skirt bottom. So to work on the bodice, I'm creating the dart based off of the pattern. So I am just marking where those dots are going to be, where the dart is on the skirt, and then tracing with this fabric pen that is removed with heat. So I am tracing that and then folding to match up the dots, and then pinning so that I can go ahead and sew that. So I'm just starting at the widest part of that triangle and then basically shortening my stitch at this point and sewing until I get off into a nice little V. And I'm leaving these threads to be long so that I can knot it at the tip, and that will help you have a really nice, beautiful, crisp dart. So once I've done that for both of my front pieces on the bodice, I am going to put that right sides together to the back of my bodice piece and sew along the shoulder seam as well as the side/armpit seam. Once I have done that, I'm going to start working on the facing pieces for my neckline. So I have these kind of funky looking pieces, and it's because the front of my bodice is a V-neck, and then here this shorter semicircle piece is the neck. So I'm basically just connecting those along the ends and sewing those together to make my one big long facing piece. So it goes up the left side of the bodice to the back to the right side of the bodice. And then I'm just going to pin that right sides together onto my bodice, matching up those shoulder seams to the connecting seams on my facing. And I'm just going to pin all along that raw edge so that I can make sure it's very secure as I go and attach this with my sewing machine. And here it is, looking very nice. And I'm just kind of popping out where that V is and just really liking how it looks. So once that is done, I'm going to start working on hemming my sleeves. So I'm doing a double folded hem. So I just folded it up about 3/4 of an inch twice, pinned that, and I am sewing along the edge of that fold to secure the hem on my sleeve. So I've done this for one. I will do the same exact thing on the other one. And then this is how the front is looking. I'm loving the fit and I love the V. So now I am going to put in my buttonholes. I have a buttonhole foot and I'm just creating those buttonholes exactly where I marked them on the front of my bodice. And then I am going to attach the bottom of the bodice at the very bottom edge, exactly where I want it to go. And I'm just doing one straight stitch to attach the front pieces together, overlapping where my button strip is. So now it is time to attach the skirt to the bodice. I have done a gathering stitch along the top of my skirt, and then I am pinning the skirt and the bodice right sides together so that I can sew all along there to attach them. I'm just using my normal seam allowance here and really making sure that I'm tucking all of the bottom gathered skirt pieces down so that I have a really nice, evenly distributed gather on my skirt. And then the final piece is to do the same type of hem on the bottom of the skirt, sew on those buttons, and then you are done. I love how this dress turned out. It is so beautiful. It's nursing friendly, which I'm all about. It's whooshy and flowy and has wonderful memories associated with the fabric that I bought while I was in Paris. So I hope you guys loved this dress and hope it inspires you to create one of your own, maybe a mashup of patterns that you love.